Good morning. Today is Saturday, November 27th, and we've got our first flurries of the year. A little bit of snow last night. The pile in the field is no longer steaming, and that's good, so that one's out. We are going to check out the basement. We've got some lights turned on down there so we can actually see what's going on in the basement. There has been plenty of activity going on down here. I don't know if I've really shown this. This is kind of a cool thing. We've got a lot of funny things going on here in this transition where we had to get up high enough to enclose the bulkhead, but it's all sealed up, it's all insulated, all seams are sealed right down to the concrete. So when this door goes in, and it's going to be a steel kind of exterior rated weatherproof door, that'll really seal things up. We'll be insulating the header there, and actually I might do some additional exterior insulation on the outside of that as well, just to really keep it toasty down here. I don't want it bleeding out the path of least resistance here. But this is the big addition to the basement right now. This is our air handler for the first floor, and it is sized appropriately for the for down here as well. So we will. This is all in place. All the trunks are run. I think return. This might be the return coming in the bottom here, and the warm air coming out the top, I would assume. But it's a Mitsu unit. It's going to be hooked up to one of the outdoor heat pumps that's going to be located, I'll try to stay away from the light as much as I can here. Yep, you can just see those insulated pipes right there. They're going to get detailed on the inside and the outside, and then they run their coil sets through there, and it'll come back and hook up right here. Super efficient. Everything's been insulated and taped so it'll stay efficient. We got plenty of room to, we got to get drywall back there and insulation into these cavities. You can also see we've got some lines, plumbing, main line going down. It's going to exit that kind of dark square. We got to get that out when the septic is going in, I believe. So we still will have a window right there. And again, this space is all going to be kind of utility area. So as you can see, they go with a solid conduit, ducting for about the as much as they can, but the last length of, 8 or 10 feet, they do flexible, and that's to cut down on noise, apparently. It's much quieter coming out of a flexible, and the turn is a little bit smoother as well, so that's why it's kind of sagging here. That's a flexible conduit that's insulated. And then that's your standard metal round. That's the best, most efficient way to move the air and not make a whole bunch of whistling or weird sounds. This is going upstairs to the living room, and these registers are right under the windows on the front. So they'll be flanked by some furniture or whatever. So these duct lines had to come through here and rip out a bunch of framing. It's going to get framed back in, and we'll be dropping the ceiling in this section right about where everything is landing here. So it'll be about a 7-foot ceiling between these beams, and everywhere else will be 8 feet. It'll step up. So this will, I think, probably become more of a hallway. I think we're definitely going to steal a lot of this space here for closets for this room. This is going to be more of a playroom, board games, ping pong, video games. So deep closets for toys and stuff like that would be great. We might even do back-to-back closets, but this came out farther than I thought it was. I thought they were going to tuck these right next to each other. And then we could have just done the soffit right up to that wall opening there. And then the rest of this could have been 8 feet, and it would have been just closets back to back here. That plan did not work out. I did not communicate my hopes and aspirations there quite effectively enough. And in the trunks, you know, like the way that they kind of have to shrink down here, right? That's a matter of mechanicals. It has to kind of work like that. Farther you get from the source, the narrower the line needs to be in order to push air at the same rate. Otherwise, all the air in the house will come out, the very close ones, and way back in the family room, those won't really be doing anything. So we'll live with it and go with what we got here. It's the basement after all. Same thing over here. So these are the vents for the supply runs for the dining room. And there's a supply in the hallway right next to the door as well, tucked into the corner there. Now we've also got a return in the floor right here. It's up in the dining room. And I think there's a return, yep. Those returns come to this trunk, as you can see. Falls in here, returns back. And there's another return in the family room, living room right here, going back into that trunk as well. And that's the one that leads down into the bottom. This box on the bottom, by the way, is I think just a filter. I've never opened this up and I don't want to break anything, but I'm pretty sure you just like slide this out some way or another, and that's where I can replace my those rectangular filters for the whole house. So that is exciting. Looking forward to learning all about these various systems that are going in. So these trunks have to go both return. Over here in the family room, there's a return kind of right. The doorway above us is actually here, not there. These are a little staggered. We did that strategically for flow upstairs versus flow downstairs. So that return is actually tucked in behind where the brick is going to be, and our couch is going to start right about here, and so there'll be an end table or something over that. And then all the way down the end, it's dark in there, but down the end, tucked into each corner, are going to be the two supplies. And that's going to do that room really well. Over here, it looks, yep, we got heat on either side of the kitchen as well. We got one over here. It's going to be one on the other side. And I'm not sure what is going to happen in the middle. I don't see any ducting for heat through the middle of the kitchen here. There is one run going up into the bathroom right there. Let's see if we can look at, there's a run sneaking over here for the other side of the kitchen. That one's actually wrong, upstairs, I think. That's one of the runs it's pointing into a closet instead of into the room, which is just bizarre. But that's it. There's a lot of additional stuff going on upstairs, but you've seen a lot of it. So I'm going to wait until we are a little further along, maybe wrapped up with HVAC, and then I'll show you what's going on the third floor and the second floor. But this is it down here. Basement is shaping up. I don't even know if you guys had seen the wall, but we've separated this. This is all going to be utility space over here. We got a lot of storage. I think the well equipment's coming over here. All the hot and cold water are just sealed off there because they're under pressure getting tested. Those will run over here. There's something else going here. I think it's the ERV is going to be located here. Yeah, because it needs to drain. That's what that drain is all about. So it, yeah, well stuff happens here. Then we have to figure out how we want to address the electrical. Like obviously this pipe, I always thought the electrical was going to go either on one of these two walls in the corner. And now it's probably going to come all the way over here, just come in the house right there, which is fine too. It's no big deal. It's just a slightly different layout. But as you can see, we're going to have tons and tons of space for storage. It goes all the way to the walls here, and we closed off there. We could always change our mind, but we wanted them to have the ability to put the electrical there. And I think if there's a panel there, you can't have a doorway closing it off when you walk through. So I suppose we could change that, but probably right where my shadow is where the electrical panel, or now right where my shadow is where that electrical panel is going to be for the rest of the house. Yeah, so shaping up pretty good. This will be the doorway from the utility and bulkhead utility area to go into this space. And now you can see we'll have kind of an open exercise room, maybe do a ping pong table in here while the boys are so inclined. And then this will actually be closed off and walled off. This will all be open space we're envisioning. This will be closed off as a room, like hangout for their friends and so forth, and that'll be closed off, of course, as a media room, as a loud room, basically. The boys are calling it the rock box, as a place to just rock out with their guitars, and they want me to get a drum set again. I would like that too. And do, you know, movies and cool stuff down there someday in the future too. So that is the plan down here. It's a good amount of space. I mean, this room alone is the hallway plus the dining room. So it's got to be nearly 20 by 16. So it's an awesome space. It's deceiving. And then that column gets incorporated into this wall. So, yeah, should be pretty cool. That's the only column we're going to see down here in the whole basement. And you know, maybe we'll even lose that if we figure out a good place to build a wall or to box it out somehow. But anyway, it's coming together down here. The mechanical systems are in. I hope the electrician is going to be starting next week. Ruffins, I think he's just trying to get everybody out of here. HVAC is, like I said, almost wrapped up. They need to put the ERV in, finalize which one they're going to use, and put it in and start running the exhaust, the fresh air, ventilation for all the spaces. A lot of the bedrooms get the fresh air in. A lot of the bathrooms and kitchen will be sucking stale or stinky air out. And that's a kind of a necessity if you build a house with lots of insulation and very tight, when there's not air exchange kind of naturally happening in a house, which could be a danger for us. So bringing the fresh air in mechanically instead. Anyway, I hope that is this is a fun video for you to see. Got some scraps to clean up. And when they're absolutely done in here, we're going to have a weekend of cleaning, I think. But until then, I hope you had a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.